Did you know only 1.6% viewers subscribe? Hit that subscribe button. Let's reach 1K for a surprise video. Your support means the world.
Liam stood before the Zenithian Council, his heart pounding in his chest. The Grand Hall was an architectural marvel, its walls shimmering with a soft, bioluminescent glow. The alien council members, with their elongated, crystalline forms, gazed down at him with an unsettling mixture of curiosity and disdain. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for what was undoubtedly the most critical mission of his life. Esteemed members of the Zenithian Council, Liam began, his voice echoing slightly in the vast chamber. I come to you with a plea for help. A pandemic has swept across Earth, affecting not only humans, but also your people who have been on our planet. We desperately need your advanced medical technology to save millions of lives. The council leader, Dr. Thorn, an imposing figure with iridescent scales and eyes that glowed like molten gold, leaned forward. We are aware of your situation, human. However, our medical resources are too precious to waste on such a primitive and fragile species. You humans are simply not worth the effort. Liam's jaw tightened. He had expected resistance, but not outright dismissal. With all due respect, Dr. Thorn, humans have shown resilience in the face of adversity. We have much to offer in terms of collaboration and mutual benefit. A murmur spread through the council members, their crystalline bodies refracting light in a kaleidoscope of colors. Before Dr. Thorn could respond, a voice cut through the tension. Enough, Thorn. Let the humans speak. The speaker was Zara, a Zenithian medic known for her controversial views on interspecies cooperation. She was younger than most council members, her scales a vibrant blue, signifying her progressive stance. Tell us more, Liam. Convince us. Liam nodded, grateful for the chance. Thank you, Zara. My friend and colleague, Dr. Sophie, has been working tirelessly to develop a cure. She's now critically ill herself. Despite our technological limitations, we've managed to identify some potential treatments, but we lack the sophistication to refine them. Your technology could be the key. Zara's eyes softened. And what have you done to help our people, Liam? We need to know this isn't a one-sided relationship. Liam's expression hardened with determination. When the pandemic first broke out, our medical teams, including Sophie, prioritized treating your citizens. We risked our lives to protect them, even when it meant exposing ourselves to the virus. We believe in cooperation and mutual aid. Dr. Thorn scoffed. Noble words, but they do not change the fact that humans are weak and unpredictable. Our resources must be reserved for those who can truly benefit from them. Before Liam could respond, Zara stood up. I will accompany Liam to Earth. I want to see firsthand the efforts and sacrifices his people have made. Perhaps we can find a way to assist without compromising our own needs. A ripple of shock passed through the council. Dr. Thorn's eyes blazed with fury. You overstep, Zara. This council will not be swayed by sentimentality. Sentimentality? Zara shot back. Or is it fear of change? We pride ourselves on our advanced civilization, yet we refuse to help those in need. I believe our true strength lies in our ability to show compassion. Liam watched the exchange, his hope rekindling. I promise, Dr. Thorn, if you allow Zara to come with me, you'll see the strength and resilience of humanity. We are not as fragile as you think. The council leader regarded Liam with a piercing gaze. Finally, he spoke. Very well. Zara, you may go. But understand this, you are responsible for your actions. If this endeavor proves futile, you will face the consequences. Zara nodded firmly. I understand. Thank you for your consideration. As the council session ended, Zara approached Liam. Prepare yourself, Liam. This journey will not be easy. There are many among my people who will not welcome this decision. Liam nodded. I appreciate your support, Zara. Together, we can make a difference. As they left the Grand Hall, Liam felt a mixture of relief and apprehension. They had won a small victory, but the real challenge lay ahead. Their journey to Earth would be fraught with danger, and the odds of convincing the rest of the Zenithians were slim. But for the first time in days, he felt a glimmer of hope. The sleek transport vehicle hummed as it sped through the sky, leaving the Zenithian city behind. Liam marveled at the alien landscape, with its towering spires and bioluminescent flora. Beside him, Zara navigated the controls with practiced ease, her vibrant blue scales reflecting the soft light from the dashboard. "What's our first destination?" Liam asked, breaking the silence that had settled between them. "We need to stop at a supply depot," Zara replied. "We'll need medical supplies and protective gear. The journey to Earth will be long and dangerous." As they approached the depot, Liam couldn't help but notice the curious and sometimes hostile stares from the Zenithians they passed. It was clear that Zara's decision to aid a human had not been well received by her people. "Why are you helping us?" Liam asked, curiosity getting the better of him. "You must know it puts you at risk." Zara sighed, her eyes fixed on the horizon. "My people pride themselves on their advanced civilization, yet we turn our backs on those in need. I believe we are stronger when we show compassion. And besides," she added with a wry smile, "I've always had a bit of a rebellious streak." Liam chuckled, appreciating her candor. "Well, I'm glad you do." At the supply depot, they quickly gathered what they needed. Zara secured vials of advanced medicines, sterilization kits, and protective suits designed to withstand the harshest environments. As they worked, a group of Zenithian guards approached, their expressions stern. "What are you doing, Zara?" the leader demanded, his voice edged with suspicion. "I'm helping our human ally," Zara replied calmly. "We're bringing back evidence of humanity's efforts to save our people." The guard scoffed. "You risk everything for these fragile creatures? They are not worth our resources." Liam stepped forward, his gaze steady. "We are more resilient than you think. Let us prove it." The guard's eyes narrowed, but he stepped aside, allowing them to pass. As they loaded the supplies onto the vehicle, Liam felt a growing respect for Zara. She was willing to challenge her own people's prejudices to do what was right. The transport lifted off again, heading toward the vast expanse of space that separated Earth from the Zenithian homeworld. As they traveled, Zara shared more about her world and the challenges they faced. "Not all Zenithians are like Thorn," she explained. "Many of us believe in cooperation and mutual aid. But there is a powerful faction that sees humanity as a threat rather than potential allies." Liam nodded. "We have our own struggles on Earth. Fear and prejudice often cloud our judgment. But I've seen the good that comes from working together." Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden jolt. The transport shuddered violently, alarms blaring. Zara's hands flew over the controls, her expression tense. "We've been hit by an energy pulse," she said, her voice tight. "Pirates." Liam's heart raced as the transport veered wildly. Through the viewport, he saw a group of ragtag ships closing in on them, weapons primed. "Can we outrun them?" he asked, gripping his seat. "I'm trying," Zara replied, her fingers dancing over the controls. "Hold on." The transport darted and weaved, dodging energy blasts that streaked past them. Liam's stomach churned with every evasive maneuver, but he knew they couldn't keep this up forever. "Is there anything I can do to help?" he shouted over the noise. "Yes," Zara said, pointing to a console. "Activate the defense systems. We need to buy some time." Liam scrambled to the console, his fingers fumbling over the unfamiliar controls. He managed to activate the ship's defensive shields just as another blast struck them. The shields flickered to life, absorbing the impact. "Good job," Zara said, her focus never wavering. "But we can't take many more hits. We need to find a way to shake them off." Liam's mind raced. "Can we lure them into a nebula or asteroid field?" Zara nodded. "There's a nebula nearby. It's risky, but it might work." She altered their course, heading toward the swirling mass of gas and debris. The pirates followed, their ships swarming like angry hornets. As they entered the nebula, visibility dropped to near zero. The ship's sensors struggled to keep track of their pursuers. "Hang on," Zara said, steering them through the dense clouds. "This is going to get rough." Liam braced himself as the transport lurched and bucked, dodging asteroids and energy blasts. The pirates' shots became increasingly erratic, their sensors also hindered by the nebula's interference. "We're almost there," Zara muttered, her knuckles white on the controls. A massive asteroid loomed ahead, and Zara deftly maneuvered the transport around it, using it as a shield. The pirates, less skilled, or perhaps more desperate, weren't as lucky. One of the ships collided with the asteroid, exploding in a fiery blaze. The remaining ships hesitated, giving Zara the opening she needed. "Now!" she shouted, pushing the engines to their limits. The transport shot out of the nebula, leaving the pirates behind. Liam let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. "That was close," he said, his voice shaky. Zara smiled, her tension easing. "Too close. But we made it." The descent into Earth's atmosphere was both exhilarating and tense. Liam watched through the viewport as the familiar blue-green sphere grew larger. His heart ached with the thought of the suffering below, but also with hope that their mission might bring salvation. Zara piloted the transport with deft precision, her eyes scanning the controls. "We'll land near the primary medical facility in New Sydney. From there, we can assess the situation and begin our work." Liam nodded, his thoughts drifting to Dr. Sophie. "I hope we're not too late." The transport touched down with a soft thud, and the ramp extended. Liam and Zara stepped out into the chaos of the quarantine zone. The air was thick with tension and desperation. Makeshift tents housed the sick and dying, while overworked medics darted between patients. "Liam," a familiar voice called out. Dr. Sophie, pale and weak, approached with a determined glint in her eyes. "I'm glad you're back. We need all the help we can get." Liam rushed to her side, supporting her frail frame. "Sophie, this is Zara. She's here to help us." Zara extended a hand. "It's an honor to meet you, Dr. Sophie. Let's save some lives." As they moved through the facility, Zara's advanced medical knowledge quickly became apparent. She diagnosed patients with precision, her hands moving swiftly to administer treatments. Liam marveled at her skill and dedication. "You're incredible," he said during a brief lull. "I've never seen anyone work like this." Zara shrugged, a modest smile playing on her lips. "We all have our roles to play, Liam. Yours is just as important." The day wore on, and the facility's conditions seemed to improve marginally with Zara's help. However, the growing strain on their resources was evident. Tensions flared as more patients arrived, and medics struggled to keep up. During a particularly frantic moment, an altercation broke out near the entrance. A group of Zenithian soldiers had arrived, led by none other than Dr. Thorn. The sight of the alien contingent immediately heightened the already palpable tension. Dr. Thorn's gaze swept over the chaotic scene, his expression inscrutable. "I see you have been busy, Zara, but this is a futile endeavor. These humans cannot be saved." Zara stepped forward, her eyes blazing with defiance. "They can be saved, Thorn. They are stronger than you give them credit for." Thorn's lips curled into a sneer. "Is that so? Then show me. Show us all that these humans are worth our efforts." Liam felt a surge of anger. "We've been fighting this battle without your help, Thorn. We don't need your approval to prove our worth." The confrontation drew the attention of everyone in the facility. Humans and Zenithians alike paused, watching the exchange with bated breath. Liam realized that this moment was pivotal, an opportunity to change minds and hearts. Dr. Sophie, though visibly weak, stepped forward. "We have been working tirelessly to save both human and Zenithian lives. We are all in this together, whether you like it or not." Thorn's eyes narrowed, but before he could respond, a young Zenithian medic interrupted. "Dr. Thorn, I have seen the resilience of these humans. I believe they deserve our aid." A murmur of agreement spread through the crowd. Zara seized the moment. "Thorn, if you truly believe in the superiority of our civilization, then act like it. Show compassion. Show that we are better because we help those in need." Thorn's expression wavered, his confidence shaken by the growing support for Zara's plea. Finally, he spoke, his voice quieter but no less commanding. "Very well. We will help. But know this, Zara, if you fail, it will be on your shoulders." Zara nodded, her resolve unbroken. "I understand." As the Zenithian soldiers began distributing advanced medical supplies, the atmosphere shifted from one of hostility to cautious cooperation. Liam felt a wave of relief and gratitude. This was a victory, albeit a tentative one. Later that night, as the facility quieted down, Liam and Zara sat together, reflecting on the day's events. "You were incredible," Liam said. You changed their minds. Zara shook her head. It wasn't just me, Liam. It was all of us. Your people showed their strength, their resilience. That's what made the difference. Liam smiled, feeling a deep sense of camaraderie. We still have a long way to go, but for the first time, it feels like we have a real chance. The early morning sun cast a golden hue over the makeshift medical facility, bringing with it a sense of renewed hope. Liam moved through the crowded tent, assisting wherever he could. The collaboration between human and Zenithian medics was beginning to show tangible results, with more patients stabilizing and fewer succumbing to the virus. Dr. Sophie, although still weak, worked tirelessly beside Zara. Their combined expertise and determination had forged an unbreakable bond. Liam marveled at the sight of them, two brilliant minds from different worlds united by a common goal. "How are you holding up?" Zara asked Sophie during a brief lull. Sophie smiled weakly. "Better, thanks to you. We've made more progress in the last few days than I ever thought possible." Zara's eyes sparkled with determination. "This is just the beginning. We still have a lot of work to do." Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion at the entrance. Liam turned to see Dr. Thorn striding into the tent, his expression grim. Behind him followed a contingent of Zenithian soldiers carrying advanced medical equipment. "We've brought additional supplies," Thorn announced, his tone begrudging but resolute. "Let's see if your humans can truly make use of them." Liam stepped forward, a mixture of gratitude and wariness in his eyes. "Thank you, Dr. Thorn. We'll make every effort to prove you wrong." As the day progressed, the facility buzzed with activity. Zenithian technology and human ingenuity merged seamlessly, resulting in rapid advancements in treatment. Patients who had been on the brink of death showed remarkable signs of recovery thanks to the new equipment and medicines. Liam worked side by side with a young Zenithian medic, Kira, who had initially been skeptical of the mission. As they treated a critically ill patient together, Kira began to see the resilience and dedication of the human team. "I didn't expect this," Kira admitted, her voice filled with wonder. "You humans are more resourceful than I thought." Liam smiled, wiping sweat from his brow. "We've had to be. Adversity brings out the best in us." Their efforts did not go unnoticed. As the days turned into nights, the bonds between humans and Zenithians grew stronger. Prejudices began to fade, replaced by mutual respect and camaraderie. Dr. Thorn, though still reserved, started to acknowledge the potential for true collaboration. One evening, as Liam and Zara took a moment to rest, they received an urgent call from the quarantine zone's perimeter. A new wave of patients had arrived, including a high-ranking Zenithian official who had been secretly observing the situation. Rushing to the perimeter, they found the official, Ambassador Ryloth, in critical condition. His entourage pleaded for help, their desperation mirroring the fear Liam had seen in his own people. "Please, save him," one of the Zenithians implored. He was skeptical, but now he sees the truth. He wants to help. Liam and Zara exchanged a determined glance. "We'll do everything we can," Liam said, his voice steady. They worked through the night, combining their knowledge and skills to stabilize the ambassador. It was a race against time, but their relentless efforts paid off. By morning, Ambassador Ryloth's condition had improved significantly. Thorn arrived at dawn, his expression unreadable. "You've saved him," he said, more a statement than a question. "We did," Zara replied, "and we'll continue to save lives together." Ambassador Ryloth, now conscious, looked around at the bustling facility. "I was wrong about humans," he admitted. "Your resilience, your spirit, it's extraordinary. You've earned our respect and our aid." Thorn nodded slowly, his resolve softening. "Perhaps there is more we can learn from each other than I realized." As the weeks passed, the joint efforts of human and Zenithian medics began to turn the tide against the pandemic. The facility, once a place of despair, became a symbol of hope and unity. Stories of their success spread, inspiring other regions to adopt similar collaborative approaches. One evening, as the sun set in a blaze of orange and pink, Liam stood on a hill overlooking the facility. Zara joined him, her expression thoughtful. "We did it," Liam said quietly. "We proved that cooperation is possible, even between species as different as ours. Zara nodded, a sense of accomplishment radiating from her. We did, and this is just the beginning. There's so much more we can achieve together. Liam turned to her, gratitude and respect in his eyes. Thank you, Zara, for everything. She smiled, her eyes reflecting the fading light. Thank you, Liam, for showing us what true resilience looks like. Their moment of reflection was interrupted by a message from Dr. Sophie. Liam, Zara, you need to see this.